Hi. So I was going to play a song, but then I remembered that my guitar is actually at Dave Mateo's house. Dave, oh, my freaking guitar back. Just freaking drop it off. Okay, I'm not nasty like that. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about Lymphoedema Awareness Month. I know you've seen all my posts about it, but I wanted to make a little video about it as well. See this beautiful little bird? Kate Aikens made it for me, my beautiful friend Kate Aikens. She made it, and it's got a little clip on it too. And you can wear it in your hair. I might put it in my hair right now, but you won't be able to see it very well. No, still can't see it. I'll take it out. So yeah, anyway, Lymphoedema Awareness Month. So for the past couple of years, I've been very, very involved with spreading the word about the condition. And a couple years ago, I actually was on a poster explaining how it used to be for me when I was 70 kilos heavier, and it was just, in all honesty, I can't quite register with how things have changed as much in my mind. I think sometimes I still feel how I did back in those days before I started doing things like exercising on a daily basis and just eating well and not reaching out to things like comfort foods in order to disguise how terrible I was feeling. I mean, comfort foods just make things worse in the long run anyway. The trick is to make a comfort food something ridiculously healthy, like fruit salad or something like that. You know, if that can be a comfort food, you're all set. But comfort foods like Meiji noodles and, you know, just chocolate in general, just to try and make yourself feel better when you're just feeling useless and ugly all the time isn't really helpful. So a couple of years ago, I got up in front of an audience of other women who are lymphedema. I'm going to be all daggy and call them survivors, because in all honesty, we survive on a daily basis with this condition. It's not something, I guess we are sufferers in a sense, but, you know, there's just, I hate using that term, because I just think that, I don't know, maybe it's a pride thing for me, but I don't really like to seek pity. In all honesty, if anything, I'm really freaking proud of how far I've come, and I try to remember that, but it's very hard to. So I got up in front of these ladies who are all lymphedema sufferers, and I shared my story. And so basically a few years ago, I was on my way to a gig in the city. I was living in Gippsland at the time, on my way to a gig in the city on the train, and I was with my friend Caitlin Cookson, beautiful girl, and it's really daggy. I'd saved up all these Coke labels in order to go to this Coke live gig. It was really ridiculous, but back then I was just like, oh, any live music gig is just amazing. And so I'm on the train with Kate, and I just started getting all these shivers and just feeling really, really sick, and becoming delusional. All I remember is just talking to Kate and saying, you know, I feel like I'm on drugs, but everybody's going to think I'm on drugs, because I was just off my tits, so to speak, excuse my language. But Kate got really worried, and luckily across from us was this man who comes over and he goes, "It's okay, trust me, I'm a doctor." No joke, it was like being in a film. Anyway, I just had all these sharp pains in the back of my left leg, and the doctor advised that I get off at Caulfield Station, and I called my auntie, and she came and picked me up, and I was just out of control, just saying gibberish, and we went to her house. I didn't eat anything, and I was still really, really, really just out of control, shivering, and Mama Susie came down from Gippsland and took my temperature, and it was about 40 degrees. So she thought, okay, it's time to go to the hospital by the looks of things. Anyway, they thought I had meningococcal at first. I spewed up on cue, got into emergency immediately, didn't have to wait long at all, and they were about to do a spinal tap when my temperature came down. And that was lucky, because apparently spinal taps are freaking painful, so I'm lucky that I didn't have to go through that. And then I woke up in the middle of the night because they kept me in for obs, and I just had this giant red rash developing up my left leg and through my foot, and like my skin was blistering, as disgusting as it sounds. It was blistering. And anyway, I just remember sitting there just thinking, what the hell is going on with my body? I've got no idea what's happening to me. And the doctors took about 5 days and 5 different antibiotics, IV antibiotics, before they figured out what it was. And I actually had a severe case of cellulitis. And before it actually got into my bloodstream, they managed to attack the bacteria. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. So I was in hospital for about 2 weeks with that, and the swelling just never went down. And I was 17 at the time, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to accept that I had this condition. And you know, as a young woman, the last thing you want is something that's going to taint your physical, your physical outward appearance more than it already is. I mean, I've always had a weight problem. I've always been bullied for being a larger person. I've always been pinpointed as the fat kid, as such. And I guess I don't know any different, you know. And as a young woman, the last thing I wanted was to be told that I would have a permanent condition that is incurable, and that would only ever be able to be managed by lymphatic drainage, massage, exercise, and wearing compression tights daily. So I didn't deal with it very well. The therapist that I had was a complete bitch, and the attitude that she had was, suck it up. This is just how it is. You have to deal with it. And I tell myself that these days, but in the meantime, you got to grieve to an extent. You got this condition that you can't cure. It's not cancer. You're not going to die from it, but it's life debilitating, and it is freaking hard, especially in this weather. In heat, it is just hell to deal with. You have to. I wear my compression tights religiously, and I've got to say that they're a godsend, and I thank the Lymphoedema Clinic. The Mercy Lymphoedema Clinic is full of angels, I'm telling you. I swear these people were just sent to earth to just be little lympho angels. They're just beautiful, and they make it possible for people like myself and a lot of the other girls like Meg and Alex and Julia and Anna and gorgeous little Charlie. Like, seriously, that these girls and myself, God, I don't even know what to say, in all honesty. We've been given this thing that I'm rambling and I'm getting emotional about it, but that's also because I'm just very emotional at the moment anyway. But the support that these girls and myself as well, I try to support them as much as possible, but the support that these girls give is absolutely freaking unbelievable. And I don't know what I would do without the girls at the clinic. And Penny, my God, Penny Sanderson is the manager at the Lymphoedema Clinic, and the amount of times I've sat in her room and just called myself a fat bitch and a disgusting, hideous, ugly blob, and she's just sat there and taken it, and then just still reassured me that none of it is true, and gone through different strategies to try and convince myself otherwise is incredible. And I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, in a nutshell, I've got lymphedema in my right hand. I got it about 3 or 4 years ago, when they told me that I wasn't going to be able to play guitar again because they were going to have to perform surgery on my hand, and I wasn't going to be able to use it again because the infection was so deep in my hand that they were going to have to pretty much cut the crap out of it. So I've got lymphedema in that hand. I got lymphedema in my right leg and foot from Year 12 exams. Stress can actually bring it on. And so I comfort eated, skyrocketed to 168 kilos, and I had to really get to the lowest point possible for me to actually turn that around. And that's when I started exercising like a mofo with Carly Jackson, the most beautiful personal trainer on the planet who used to just encourage me like crazy to go into that bloody gym. There were these 3 fellas who used to just like watch me every morning I went in there, and they'd just be assholes, absolute assholes. And I just felt like saying, well, you've probably got small penises or something. But anyway, that's beside the point. They probably do, and that's probably why they're assholes. Yeah, Carly, freaking hell, seriously, I reckon that, she tells me that it's all me, but I reckon that's bullshit. I don't think that I would have achieved as much if she wasn't part of the whole thing. And, I guess I didn't prepare anything for this video. I'm just sitting here just rambling off the top of my head. You could probably, shit, I've gone for 10 minutes and 47 seconds. You're probably bored out of your minds. Oh, look, cleavage. Yeah, I suggest that you guys look up lymphedema and make yourselves aware, because it's a very undiagnosed illness that a lot of people have, and a lot of the time people of the general public will just look at someone who's overweight and has swelling in their legs and just think, you know, they're just fat deposits, but it's often not the case. And primary lymphedema, hereditary lymphedema, is more common than you actually realize. So I'm not making excuses for people who make bad choices. I'm not excusing myself from making bad choices myself back then, but a lot of it is explained, and I think that the more awareness and the more education provided is going to prevent extreme cases from happening. There are different stages of lymphedema. There's the preventative stage, so you start noticing swelling and you can prevent it from getting worse, and then it just becomes harder and harder and harder to reverse, and it can actually turn into elephantitis. And that is scary, and I'm pretty sure I was well on the way to developing that myself. And I'm so freaking glad that I turned it around, because I, in all honesty, probably would have topped myself. Yeah. I've got a few other things going on for myself, and I probably would have gotten to the lowest point possible and felt a hell of a lot of emotional pain because of it, and just ended it all. So I really encourage anybody who notices anything like severe swelling on their legs that they just can't quite decrease. I suggest that you just go to your doctor and just ask for a referral to go to the clinic, because you never know what it might be. It might just be normal swelling, it might just be edema, it might not have anything to do with your lymphatic system, but it's so important to just put in the preventative strategies, like continuous exercise, like wearing compression tights, like having lymphatic drainage massage, and just keeping your fluids up in general as well, to prevent the harsher stages of lymphedema from happening. Now, that was the most unstructured video that I've ever put together in my entire life. And yeah, Lymphedema Awareness Month is every March. And I love all my beautiful friends who also have lymphedema dearly, and I hope that you're all coping okay with today's weather. And if you guys have any other questions about it, please feel free to contact me. Send me an email or a message on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you see this, and I'm more than happy to answer any other questions that you might have. Yeah. You're all gorgeous. I love you. I love you. I love every single one of you very, very much. And regardless of whether you have lymphedema or not, I still adore you. I just, yeah. It's a bloody bitch of a thing. And it's up to myself and all of us other lympho ladies to educate you guys about it. I'm gonna stop talking and stop rambling. Maybe I can just like draw this out until I get to 15 minutes exactly. I'll think of a joke. An Irishman walked out of a bar. Get it? Now, how many people with dementia does it take to change a light bulb? To get to the other side! Yeah, I thought that was a really funny one as well. I'll have to tell you some stories of visiting all the beautiful little oldies next time I visit them. I'm thinking I'm going to post a song later on tonight once I've got my guitar. I've got 3 seconds left. Love you, love you, love you, love you.